On Saturday, which was a long weekend, right? On Saturday, sometimes it comes to your head, gee, I wonder what such and such a person is doing. And I looked up one of my ultimate favorite people. She lives in the Winston-Salem, High Point, Greensboro area in North Carolina. Her name is Deetra Miller. And Deetra, besides working for, I think it's called Greater Winston-Salem, which I'll be honest, at first I thought was a government agency. And it turns out once I looked into it, I'm pretty sure it's the Winston-Salem Chamber of Commerce, but they call themselves Greater Winston-Salem, which is a good branding move, by the way. But anyway, Deetra, looking at the company she works for now, Greater Winston-Salem, the Chamber of Commerce, Deetra had and still has a company. And as soon as I heard her company name a decade ago, I immediately vowed that someday, as I start companies, every so many years, I was going to steal that name and use it. So Deetra's company name was Deetra Creative. And so that's where I got the idea for Way Creative. And I think it's just great. I even wrote her after I registered and said, I stole your name. And it's a great name. Thanks very much for your name.
No, it's your name because you're just way cool and way creative.
There you go, Steve.
So
now today is Website Wednesday. And I want to do something a tiny bit different. We've only done it once before, but it was kind of looking at the Chamber of Commerce for Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Of course, the first, because it's done alphabetically, the first category of members is advertising and media, I think it's called. So A, right? So it comes first.
it's not
And I happened
Aardvark
to look
sales.
at,
It's not Aardvark sales.
it's not Aardvark sales anymore.
Okay.
Winston-Salem, I don't think, is big in the Aardvark market
The
these days.
Aardvark.
One never knows.
And so I looked at
Armadillo.
some of their members who were
Armadillos?
in the advertising and media space, and these were basically marketing companies. And it occurred to me as I looked at them that A, almost all of them needed improvement, and B, whereas we often pick, just a search term and we go and we look at a car wash or we look at a vet or whatever, and there's something to be said. If I was one of the people who owned those companies, I'd say, well, I have people who do that. I hire marketing companies to do that, and they're supposed to do a good job. And so I said, why don't I show what a marketing company would do to show that it's not just you. Everybody's website can use a little work once in a while.
Yeah.
So let me show you two, and these are both in my area.
Okay.
You should look at the Nashua Chamber of Commerce. That's a hoot too.
I'm sure that's
Nashua,
lovely. Nashua,
North,
New Hampshire.
New Hampshire.
So this one is called Capture Value. First of all, right off the bat, they're not using
Capture
HTTPS. Not sure why, but they're not.
Capture value.
They're
So
also
this
not
is-
capturing my attention with this page.
Yeah,
No.
it's hard to read. And then if you actually read the copy, like I'm going to read it out loud just
Okay.
because it bears. And again, not trying to pick on anybody.
Yeah.
Oftentimes there are literally 100 different tasks that have to be done. And if you're a small enough company, you just don't have the bandwidth to do a plus work on everything, right? But their headline is Our Approach. So you can see that they've split it into three. It's almost like a triptych, right? If you know what a triptych is, it's like a
Yep.
piece of art,
Yep.
and it's got like 3 panels. It tells a story in 3 panels. This one is Our Approach, Our Services, and then how to contact the company,
Okay.
right? And our services, the only reason I looked at these guys and say, no, not acceptable,
Definitely
is
no.
because if they had stuck to things like, I don't know, social media and graphic design and internal communications, I would have given them an absolute 1,000% pass on the
Mhm.
copywriting on the left-hand side. But you can't say you do copywriting and email marketing
Mhm.
and then have this copy. So their copy is Our Approach. That's their headline, right? Again, they're talking about themselves, not you. And you're supposed to be talking about the customer, not about yourself.
Yeah.
Often you hear, who opens with that, right? Often you hear that the goal of business is to create value. By the way, this whole thing reminds me of a scene in the very first episode of Sherlock, the BBC series that was out a few years ago.
Yes.
Right. So they're in the cab. They're in the cab on the way to get, I don't know where they're going, but something dangerous.
Yeah.
And the guy asked him, hey, so like when we first met, and this would have been like an hour earlier in the show, when we first met, you borrowed my phone and then you told me all these things about me based on my phone. How did you know all that stuff? And he explains, well, there's a scratch here and there's a thing there, and there's an engravement on the back and blah, blah,
Right.
blah. And obviously, you were tanned on your hands, but not above. So, Afghanistan, Iraq, that's what I asked you, blah, blah, blah. And And so he explains how he quickly came through all those conclusions and arrived at virtually every right answer.
Mhm.
And that's Sherlock, right? And then Holmes says, that's what does he say? He says, that's astounding. Like, that's
Astounding.
amazing. Something like
Brilliant,
that.
huh?
And Sherlock says, like,
Right.
really? That's not what
Amazing.
most people say. And Watson says, so like, what do most people say to you? And Sherlock says, piss off. Now, capture value is going to have one of two reactions to this. They're either going to say, oh, wow, yeah, that's useful. I might take a lesson from that. Or they're going to say, Dean, piss off.
Yeah.
But let's assume they're open to improvement, because everybody's always open to improvement, right?
They capture
So-
new ideas.
But here's what they say. Often you hear that the goal of business is to create value. Then there's an M dash, by the way, in case you don't know. This is not a hyphen. It's kind of a double hyphen with no space in it. Its technical name is called an M dash. MDASH, all one word. It's used a lot in copywriting as a way to break up text without using a period or whatever. Except there's no reason to use an M dash here. In fact,
No.
I've never seen an M dash improperly used the way that it's used here. This should have been a period.
They need to strike copywriting out of services immediately.
Right. So often you hear that the goal of business is to create value at M dash. At Capture Public Relations and Marketing, comma, we believe that the true art of business is to capture value, as opposed to create value, I guess. We capture the inherent value of brands and leverage opportunities for effective communications and sales growth through, this is a long sentence, through strategic public relations and marketing counsel. By developing creative public relations and marketing solutions and implementing them, should have been a comma there, we capture more value for our clients. Okay, so first of all, I don't know how many words are here, but let's say it's about 40. And they use the word capture 4 times.
And
That's
it's
a lot.
multiple. Those are multiple sentences that have been strung together.
Right.
Or, yeah.
And the thing is, it says the same thing basically twice.
Yeah.
So they don't have a good opening. They don't have a good headline. They're talking about themselves. We often say, or I often say, and you guys are gracious enough to agree, that readers have a thimble full of attention for you talking about yourself and an ocean full of attention for you talking about them.
Yeah.
And so this should be a lot shorter. They need a much better headline, and they shouldn't, and it's just filled with mistakes from how they use the M dash, where they don't use a period, where they should use a comma, and breaking stuff up. So I looked at this while I was in Starbucks waiting for my coffee, and I said, I bet I could fix this super fast.
Cool.
And I fixed it to this.
You know, one other thing
Wow,
that caught my attention before you even started copywriting, it's not secure.
Mm-mm.
It's an insecure.
Yeah, like I said, there's no HTTPS being forced here. They
That's
should be,
kind of crazy.
which also means they're being
Yeah, crazy.
downgraded by Google in search results, in case they didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, who cares
Yeah.
if it's like,
Radically.
So from our approach,
Yeah.
I didn't change anything else. So by the way, I changed almost none of the words in this.
Yeah.
I just changed a few and got rid of most of the rest. We switched to capturing brand value. It's the art of business. Because basically what they're saying is they're in the art side of business, the creative side of business, which is what you'd want a graphics and marketing company to be.
Right.
They're not a operations enhancement company. They're not a logistics company. They're not a methodology, kind of company. They're an artistic company.
They almost seem like they're a branding company.
Yeah. Except
not even PR
Actually,
and everything.
they take
else.
what you've got and they show you how to get the most out of it.
Got it.
So yeah, capturing brand value. It's the art of business.
Yeah.
And then our public relations and marketing solutions will leverage all of your brand's value today and create more value tomorrow. That's all they need.
They could have a tagline like brand leverage, brand value, or something super simple, as opposed to the public relations and marketing.
This is way too much and too bland, and it's all about them. And look, also, okay, you guys have heard me say before that there's a bad word that you use in copywriting.
Bad word. Ooh,
yeah, it starts with M, ends with N, and it's when basically you're writing for yourself. Or in a intimate situation, it's when you're doing something just for your own pleasure, not caring what your partner is experiencing. Okay.
Yeah.
So in copywriting, that's masturbation. They read this and they say, "Look how clever!"
Whoa! I thought this was PG-13.
No, it's now PG-17.
17. NC-17.
Yeah. NC-17.
For North
So
Carolina.
that's all this is, right? This is masturbation. They're talking about themselves and themselves and themselves, and look how clever we are. We believe. I hate it when companies say we believe something. I'm going to show you an example of that where it's kind of done right, but here it's done wrong.
Well, Pat Benatar uses it in one of her old
Come
80s
on.
songs. We believe.
So much shorter, says everything, and gets short enough so people will actually read it.
I like
and bang, they're right into this one.
Yeah.
So, by the way, I don't know how you do it, but if you want to like tag them, I don't know how.
Yeah,
you
we can tag them after.
Value. Oh wait,
Yeah.
they're on Facebook. They're at Capture Value. That's pretty good.
Capture Value, a wonderful.
So on your Facebook page right now, you could tag them for Capture Value.
Let me go look. Yeah.
And again, they might just say piss off, but
piss off.
Just
or
take a
thank
look
you
at
for
it,
your
okay?
feedback.
Just take a look at it, freeze the frame in the video, and like honestly, you don't need all this other stuff.
Yeah.
We're just watering down a very powerful message that you've already got in here. It just needed to be scooped out.
Because of Dean Way, our business has improved by 45%.
Okay, so that's one Winston-Salem. Thank you, Deetra Miller, for accidentally, through no fault of your own, pointing me towards your marketing and advertising members. Here's another one. This is The Variable. Great name for a marketing company, by the way.
The Variable.
Much more graphically oriented. You see that this is cycling. The product, the business, the community, tension. It goes on too long, but really good, right? Clearly a company that put thought and money and resources into their website. Unfortunately,
so We Believe came back
I wouldn't
again.
have done this. What's that, Chris?
We Believe came back again.
Yeah, like I said, there's the previous example, wrong way to use it. This one is better. Yeah. They actually do a decent job. But I wouldn't have put it up here in a separate like visual block where this is black and now this is white. And just sort of,
it's actually a waste of black space.
Yeah, and not only that, their idea is, okay, we'll put in We Believe, because a lot of these marketing sites are sort of like manifestos, right? We believe.
Yeah.
Blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then the only way that they connect it to the text below is just through a line. And I'm supposed to like remember what they said, whatever. But then they start saying, so you're supposed to remember that it says we believe and then indifference.
They're indifferent?
We believe in strategy. I would have honestly put we believe in gray. I can't do that with this little free plugin I use, but I would put in we believe indifference.
I don't like having indifference there because it sounds like they don't care.
Yeah, I know.
Hearing it, I just hear indifference. I have to remember that.
But then I would have tightened up it's pretty short already, but I would have tightened up the text even more. So instead of saying, because we think the enemy is indifference, we believe indifference. It's not a bad line. But you could have just tightened it up. The enemy is indifference, so we believe.
The enemy is indifference. We believe indifference. Yeah. I like that.
Now, there's a little play on words there. They did that, not me, of indifference and then the similar indifference, but, whatever. And then it's supposed to be, we believe in strategy. We unearth insights that transform our clients' worlds. That's a bit of a mouthful. We believe in strategy, so we unearth insights that transform clients' worlds. Yeah, same words, basically, just like a fewer of them and tighten them.
It sounds like you're exhuming a grave, though, when you say we're unearthing. I don't know.
No, this is in marketing for an agency. This is kind of common, right? They go in, they're going to be looking at the data. They're going to be looking at results from previous campaigns. They're going to try to find something that's been overlooked that can be exploited. That's fine. You pay people to do that, right?
All right.
And then let's see. We believe in
creativity.
In creativity, it's the last unfair advantage we're allowed to take over competitors. It seems that's a strange way to phrase it.
Over.
And we believe in creativity. It's the true unfair advantage you have over competitors.
Yeah, or
much cleaner.
Dominate over competitors.
And then for we believe in community.
In community.
Brands spam things. See, they can't say it's bad and then say it's good.
Yeah.
And then just have this one bridge that's going to cover it. The bridge doesn't cover it. So they say we believe in community. Brands spam things, communities share things, build brands through community. It's like it's also a bit kludgy. So instead, tighten it up. Ads shout, communities talk. Build brands through community.
Ads shout. Oh, that's interesting. Instead of brand spam, ads shout. But
That way they don't
ads.
have to put brands in up here and say a negative about it.
Right.
Instead, communities talk.
So
Build
don't be a
brands.
brand who only advertises. Be a brand who builds community.
Yeah.
Okay.
But again, we believe should be in sort of small letters above this
I
subhead
agree.
in gray.
Yeah.
And just keep, if you're going to have a manifesto type style to
Yeah.
your website,
Yeah.
then drive it home.
Got
And
it.
also make everything as short as possible because people are going to scroll through this as quickly as possible. But yeah, these are just the first two that I picked. They had interesting names.
It's really interesting, actually.
And so
I did tag Capture, by the way. I said, take a look at some of our suggestions. Feel free to completely ignore them.
Yeah. Well, then who's the variable? They don't actually have do they have anything? Oh, there's Facebook.
But what's interesting is that their particular, but what it comes up, when you tag at Capture, what was it again? Capture something.
Capture value.
Capture value. What comes up is Capture Public Relations and Marketing, which might be their real name.
I'm sure it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and the variable is the variable lab.
Variable lab. Let me see. Let's see if I can get the variable lab. This is coming to my personal profile. They're probably going to start killing me.
They're coming after you.
What is it again? Value lab?
The variable lab.
The variable.
The variable lab.
Now this one comes up. Oh, it just comes up as the variable.
Yeah.
See, I like theirs better. As opposed to capture value comes out as Capture Public Relations and Marketing.
By the way, this is
variable
actually
seems to
pretty
be
good
cleaner.
headline, right? The thinking of an innovation consultancy meets. It's not bad. It's pretty good. Meets the doing. I don't know if it's actually them, right? And maybe it might be a quote from Fast Company or Ad Age for all I know. In which case, they sort of have to keep it, although they should have put quotes around it. Because it's not a super powerful, it's 80% of the way there. It should be 90% of the way there. They should tighten it up a bit. And so if it had appeared, let's say, in the Fast Company profile, then I would have put quotes around it just as a subtle way of saying, hey, we would have written a better line, but this is a direct quote that they wrote.
Yeah.
Don't blame us for how kludgy that is. So anyway, those are two agencies. We normally we just pick random, but I just saw them at random and I said, a lot of the people who look at our stuff, they say, okay, well, I don't know. I'm just a little business, but the pros always have room to go for improvement as well. And so do I. But it's not just don't put it off as like, well, I'm never going to be good at it, so I'm never going to try. Everybody should try because everybody can get better.
Do or do not. There is no try.
There you go.
I think it's interesting to see this stuff. I would have expected something a little more graphic from Capture.
Yeah.
Value. I really would have. But there's a nice graphic in the background, but for me, it's a little too subtle. I would have just seen all the text and just left.
Right.
So, but that's just me. I need to be entertained in order to click through your website.
How did their Facebook page look?
Oh, good question.
Let's go look.
Let's go find.
Share your screen. Let's go look at it.
Hang on. I got to get to their page. We're talking Capture. Okay, Capture. Boom. Let's see. Okay, are you going to give me permission?
I don't think I need to.
Boom. Share screen. I'm just going to go to the Chrome tab so you don't have to see all the various tabs that I have open today.
Yes, it unnerves me to see people.
I'm a
with
tabaholic.
tabs open.
Okay.
Yeah, nobody needs that.
Nobody needs that.
Nobody needs that.
Okay.
So a 5.1 review. I don't know what that is, but this is interesting. So let's see what they've
The
got.
variable
Here.
had 5.5. I remember that.
It's one
Okay.
5.1 review.
So this is the Y. So Daryl, when did they post this? So their last post was May 13th. I'm
2 weeks
sorry,
ago.
that's a little too long.
It's
That's
way too long.
But they're open now from 9 to 5. Should we call them?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
I should call them right now. At the Y April.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, once a month posting?
Wow.
I'm sorry, people. Yeah, once a month they post.
Twice a day would be good.
Yeah, twice a day. Well, here they got 2 in a row, the 23rd and 24th. So they got inspired.
Okay.
So this month they posted 4 times. Okay. And then February just the 7th. Oh, they need to do twice a day. This is not working.
All right, and go look at the variable lab.
The variable lab. Let's do. I think it's if I just do
The
at
variable.
the
At the variable lab, yeah, that's their tag. That's their handle.
are you variable lab? There you are, the variable. I kind of like this,
Yeah.
but
I
I don't
really like
understand.
that name, by the way. I would have done more of a play on the name.
So this is
in the
interesting. This
copy,
is actually
but
so. This is pretty interesting. I like seeing. Why are they this big that they have a? Or did they just Photoshop this thing to put at the top of the building their
I
logo?
don't know.
But Fast Company, they're allegedly there.
No, I don't
5
think they own the whole building. I think that they're
No. But a lot of times, people
Yeah.
just stick a little icon at the top. Forbes has selected us. So this is March. The last posting was March. That's
March last
maybe
year.
probably this is
last
March
year.
of last year, but this is the pinned post likely.
Right.
Proud of you. Blah blah blah. Oh no,
No, it's not.
November 2020. Holy cow!
So not big
Yeah.
on Facebook.
No, I think they're variable in terms of their posting.
What about on
Man, they must have
Instagram?
had a pandemic thing. It's the Year to Forget event. I think they forgot to post on Facebook.
I think so too.
This is kind of like we're merging what was supposed to be Social Tuesday into Website Wednesday.
By
Yeah.
the way, it's the same thing. It's the variable lab on Instagram.
Oh, it is. Okay.
And
I
of
wonder
course,
what
the thing that's bad about that is people are going to start to wonder whether they're even in business.
Well, yeah, there's that sense. I mean,
You
I'm sure
haven't
they've got
posted
some
in
good
here.
reviews. Oh, Victoria, we did her website. She just liked our video that we're
On
watching.
Instagram, they've only got 24 posts.
24.
Yeah.
This is just bizarre to
Wow.
me. And the funny thing is they get 1,300 people like it, 1,371 following. So when you see more followers than likes, that's actually a good sign that you're producing, that you are a brand that people want to follow.
Yeah.
The problem is their social sucks. So sorry if I use strong language, in case you're watching this later, because I've tagged you. But yeah, you need to pump up the volume and get.
It's
get-
just a little
get twice a day.
surprising that a company whose whole business is communications.
Right.
Yeah.
Doesn't
I mean,
communicate.
so these are the photos, I guess, that see all photos. These are probably the ones they repurposed on Instagram, I would imagine. They're bouncing around though. So they're at the trampoline park. Okay.
So anyway,
All right.
just
Well.
one last sort of piece on that, right? If
Oh, I wonder
if you look at your website and you think,
look at
okay,
creative.
I'm not a marketing company. I'm not, the stuff on my website is not great, but I'm not a marketing company. I'm not one of the experts in the stuff. Even the experts can be improved. And
Oh, yeah.
there's no
I mean,
excuse
I
for
know that
anyone to not try to
my-
tighten up. And if worst case scenario, cut something. Your
Yeah.
sentences are too long. Your headlines are too long. You're talking about yourself instead of, the customer. You can talk about yourself as long as the customer thinks that you're talking about them. Totally acceptable. In fact, it's the way to go. But yeah, make it shorter, make it tighter. Talk about them, not you.
They did create a video.
Yes,
I think
they
this
did.
is them. Wow.
I think.
Creative concepting 50% off and sprint sessions and stuff. It actually is very interesting. Their video is great.
Yeah.
But I would actually feature more videos if I were them.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Without
Stop
a
the
doubt.
share.
Yeah.
Interesting. Wow.
Especially if you're good at it, you should feature more videos.
That's really, I mean, what the production value they had there is very good. So I would think that, you'd want to be pumping out Instagram reels, probably even on TikTok. Cause I'm telling you, the number of people age 35 and above is just exploding on TikTok.
Yeah.
So, and it's the number one traffic site on all of the interwebs. It beats
Yeah.
Google. So
Mm.
And ads are cheap if you want to advertise on TikTok. At least cheap for now. Like Facebook ads used to be. So, all right. That was fun.
That was Website Wednesday.
Website Wednesday with a little social sprinkled
A
in.
little
just for
social
fun.
sprinkled in.
All right.
All right, that's it. Let's wrap
Okay.
it up.
Yeah.
Thank
Tie
you,
it in a
John.
bow.
Thank you, Dr. V. Tomorrow is Tools Thursday.
Ooh.
Do I have any tools?
Yeah, and this is our first.
I've got
video of the week,
scissors,
so
but I won't run. I won't run with
the
them though.
scissors. Don't run with scissors.
yeah,
Cut it out.
I got new pens.
You got a
new
new
pen.
We're going old school with scissors and
He brings
pens.
in a hammer.
Pens.
Like, cool. A sextant.
Wow. Okay.
A
again.
decimeter. God only knows what he's going to bring in. All right, that's it for today. Thank you, everybody.
I got an oximeter.
They're all waving.